right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live stream. I am so happy that you're here with us this afternoon. My name is Ebony Turk, and I have the honor of serving as the interim co-executive director of Positive Women's Network USA, alongside my partner, Marnina Miller, who I'll introduce you to in a minute. But I want to start off by just acknowledging the energy in the space. If you're watching live, if you're catching the replay, if you're joining from your couch, from work, or from your car, you're a part of our community right now, and we are very grateful. This afternoon, we're gathering for something way more important than just a live stream. We're here because wellness, autonomy, and power are connected. And for women, cis and trans, um, folks living with HIV, gender diverse folks, those things aren't theoretical. They're our life, they're our breath, they're political, and they're personal. Today's Giving Tuesday, yes. But before we get into the details of that, we want to ground the space in this moment. We want to hold space for what it means to care for ourselves, care for each other, and build power together, especially in a world that often tries to take our power away. So, as I said, I'm joined today by my co-ED and sister in this work, Marnina. Happy birthday, Marnina. Everybody say happy birthday to Marnina in the comments in the chat. And I'm also joined by our incredible board vice chair, Tana Padilla. Um, both of these amazing women lead with their hearts, their stories, and love every single day. You'll hear their voices. You'll hear all of our voices throughout this hour. But first, we want to center ourselves, to breathe, to arrive, and to remember why we're here. So, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Tana, who's going to guide us into a grounding moment to open this space with intention and care.
Hi, everyone. Tana Pradia, Vice Chair of the Board. So, welcome, and I want us to take a moment to think about what wellness looks like, what self-care looks like in a world that we love and the people that we love and cherish in our lives and in our community. So, I want us to, as I count to three, take a deep breath and hold it for five. And I'm going to count to five, and then you're going to release it. So let's start. One, two, three. Deep breath. Release. Thank you. And I will pass it back.
Thank you, Tana. Our breath is so important, and so needed. So I invite everyone that's watching us to just pause, take some deep breaths in, blow them out, um, and remember, today we're talking about what wellness looks like, and um, not just for meditation's sake or stillness, but being seen, knowing that we're safe, knowing that we're worthy of care. And when systems fail us, we do what we've always done. We hold one another. We take care of each other. And that's the power of this network. And that's the energy that we're calling into this space today. And with that, I want to transition to my sister, Marnina, so we can start with wellness is political.
Thank you, Ebony, for that beautiful intro. I love working with you, and also working with Tana too. I am so excited about today because as we're talking about wellness is political, y'all, I used to think that I couldn't bring wellness into this space. Like I had to leave wellness at the door and come in here and work and grind. But what PWN has taught me is that I have to take care of myself, and that in order for me to do the work, I have to be my best self. And so wellness is political. We know we are living in a time where there are so many ways in which our bodies are seen as non-valuable, where we are not getting the medicine we need, the care we need, and we know that our wellness as people living with HIV is political. So I want to thank Tana for grounding us too. I can feel the energy in here kind of shift. And so now that we're all here, we're present, we've taken our breaths together. I want to move us into the heart of the conversation. Wellness is political because at PWN we say wellness is political and we don't take that lightly. We say it because our bodies, our choices, and our joy, and even our rest have often been shaped by systems that were never designed with us in mind. So the next part of this conversation is just a conversation for us to just chit chat. And I'm going to ask a series of questions, and I want Tana and Ebony and everyone else that are on the live stream, if you could put your answers in the chat. I want to know from y'all, when y'all hear the words, wellness is political, what comes up for you? I'm going to pass it to Tana first.
So when I think about wellness is political, I think about how, and thank you, Marnina, and thank you, Ebony, for having me here today, is that we take care of one another. We take care of our people the best way that we know how at PWN, and that is by showing love, gratitude, and the political climate that we are living in. So we take care of each other. And if someone is in need, we are here for you no matter what the circumstances are.
Thanks, Tana. I think wellness is political because you cannot, unfortunately, in our country, you cannot have certain types of wellness without being political. We people living with HIV have to fight every day for our survival. We're fighting to maintain our health care. We're fighting to have access to just access to care. Um, member of our sisters in the South don't even have hospitals and clinics to go to because they're closed. Um, we were just in a situation where a lot of our people didn't have food, which is why we started our mutual aid fund. Um, we in October celebrated our National Day to End Violence Against Women Living with HIV. That speaks to our safety. We have to keep fighting for these things. And our wellness depends on, unfortunately, a lot of times who's in office. So when I say wellness is political, I think about my life being on the line every day. Am I going to be able to afford my medicine, the medicine that keeps me alive? This year, I've been living with HIV for 24 years, and it scares me to death to think I'm going to have to pay $3,000 plus for 30-day supply of medication. That is scary. And some people can't even pay a $10 or $20 copay um, to get medicine, to have care, things like that. So when I say wellness is political, um, it's political because my life depends on how I'm taken care of. Um, and wellness is also the act of rest, and I take rest seriously. Laughter, we laugh a lot together. um, and caring for a community. I envision and I want a community where we are taking care of each other, where we don't have to depend. I don't want us to have to depend on the government. But at this point, those are things that we need. So that's what I mean when I think of wellness is political.
Thank y'all. Y'all said some beautiful answers. I also have another question, but before we get into that, I want to talk about how we care for each other because you talked a little bit about that, Ebony, in your statement and your way in which you answered. And I think about how you have taken care of me. Like when I first came into this space, I want to tell our story of how we really connected. Ebony literally asked me what I was doing for work. And at the time, I was working loss prevention. And she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, "Chasing shoplifters." And she was like, "No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm going to take your resume. I'm going to revamp your resume." And once she did that, I started working at a local aid service organization here in Houston. And I've been just able to really navigate the HIV space because of Ebony, because of Tana, because of so many other women, cis, trans, and gender diverse folks living with HIV that have really loved on me. So it's going to lead us into this next question. How do we protect our power while also protecting each other? So, how do we do that? Like, how do you balance that act? For me, I set really firm boundaries. And I also learned that from another sister here at PWN, Aisha. Aisha's the queen of boundaries. And so I learned how to set my own personal boundaries by seeing how my sister, a fellow dandelion, was utilizing her ways in which she expresses her ways to take care of herself. And so I'm going to pass it over to Ebony first. How do you protect your power while also protecting other people?
Yeah, so I think we protect our power by sharing it, right?
Yep.
The story you just shared, right? Um, when I seen you, the reason why I asked that question because I seen the power within you. I was like, oh my God, she is amazing. And I need to know what she's doing because I need her on my team, whatever team that is. I need her on Team PWN. And at the time, we were not the co-EDs. We were just I think I might have been the organizer at the time and member and I was at a member meeting. But I needed you a part of I was like, yeah, you are amazing. So I wanted you a part of the team. So you have to share the power. We have to pull each other up. We have to support each other. We have to always care for each other. And that's what I mean by like I envision this world where we are all taking care of each other, whether that means um helping someone who's in need, uplifting somebody to be in a room that they deserve to be in, helping somebody, one of our sisters, or whomever run for office, sharing, helping, supporting. That's how we protect our power. When one of us rises up, we pull each other up. When somebody is struggling, I am really big on this. When somebody is struggling, we don't shame, we don't blame. We hold space and we help because shaming and blaming doesn't help anybody. So we have to help because you're a part of our community, and being a part of the community for me means I have a responsibility to help the community, and I'm accountable to the community for how I help because so many of our community members help me in so many different ways. So I would be a fool not to give back, not to protect that power because that's power. We're not only talking about power, some power out there. We're talking about the power we have within us. The power that we have within our community saves us, keeps us alive, and protects us. Um, Most people know that one of my biggest, um, one of the biggest things that I love to do, I think truth is love. Um, so a lot of times I protect power by telling the truth. I would prefer that we tell the truth, um, because as we can see, our government will not, our systems are breaking down, but our community is so powerful, and we are the ones that are going to hold each other together, which is again why we created the mutual aid fund, why we're doing this power hour, giving hour, why we need to raise money, because we really do support our community with the things that we get, the information that we get, the money we raise. We are all about our community. I'm complete.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. What about you, Tana? No, it's gonna be a hard act to follow.
Yeah, that is a hard act to follow. How do we protect our power? You know, I'm gonna say that in this journey that I have been on, uh, is PWN members watching Marnina, Ebony, watching all of you uh, gives me strength when I'm down. And I will say that coming from addiction, coming from being homeless, coming from not trusting the next person or the next woman alongside me. But when I came a part of PWN, I saw women just like me. It is about, I was able to put trust in every woman that I have come in contact with, which was not something that was easily done, but I do it today. Um, didn't know where to go to the doctor, how to get my medication, was out of medication for 6 months. But the work that I do today is to help women find the things that they need, the best of my ability. And sometimes that I do it and I'm not taking care of myself. And I'm just being transparent because I think about the struggle that we all go through. But now, 2025 is about loving each and every one of us, being there to help, to guide um, in this political climate that we're in. But also, the main thing is building trust. I am very unapologetic in what I do when I am fighting and I'm showing up for the next woman or whoever it is. I'm gonna tell you, I'm very unapologetic. Uh, I need We need healthcare. We need housing. We need food. And these are things that we deserve. We are human beings. We're not our diagnosis. And yeah, that's us. Yeah, I'll pass it back to you, Marnina.
Thank you, Tana. We are not our diagnosis. I appreciate you saying that. When I often think of PWN, I don't even think of the HIV part. I think of my sisterhood.
Mhm.
I think of people that I love and women and gender diverse folks that I care about deeply. So I know I've seen a lot of times where women in this network and PWN have really held each other through some really difficult and hard moments. I see it every day. I watch our members stay up late on the phone with someone who's newly diagnosed so they don't feel alone. I've seen our sisters walk into hearings together shaking, but still standing strong because they knew they had community behind them. I've seen people rally around someone who just lost housing, someone navigating some really deep internalized stigma, and someone fighting for their life and dignity. And what I love about PWN is that no one suffers in silence and that we really hold each other and celebrate each other and remind each other that we are not our diagnosis. So I want to share another story that I got about a time in this network where PWN has really held me. When I first came out about my diagnosis, it was at our Speak Up Summit in 2018, and y'all were on the stage with me because I asked y'all to join me for that moment. And being open about your diagnosis could be scary because once you say it, it's out there forever. And so when I came out about my diagnosis, y'all all rallied around me, and I still have that video on my social media. The picture from that moment is still there, and y'all really held me through such a tough moment because my family didn't want me to come out about my diagnosis. They wanted me to be closeted because their internalized stigma about my diagnosis was weighing on them. And so PWN has held me and so many other women. But I would love to know from y'all, when have y'all seen PWN really show up for someone through some really hard times? I'm gonna pass it to Ebony first.
So many times. Um, I'm gonna say the most extreme right now for me would be so many women, Barb, Mary Jane, Chris, all went to jail for us to save healthcare. And it wasn't just for us. A lot of times when we're out here fighting, we're fighting for everybody because when we get things we need, everybody gets things they need. So we're fighting for everybody. A ton of people, um, a ton of our sisters are always down in DC fighting. And shout out to Olga too. Olga, she one of our sisters is always in DC fighting. And Olga is in a wheelchair now. She be out there getting arrested to save our our systems and networks and healthcare and all the things. So many of my sisters, I think recently in Louisiana, our PWN Louisiana chapter, they take care of homeless people in the winter time. They raise money to get sleeping bags for the homeless in Louisiana. Our sisters in Texas, and Tana is on here. Tana and a bunch of the PWN Texas members run a whole um the Texas Strike Force, which is I be forgetting words, y'all. I have menopause and HIV brain, so forgive me. Rapid response, a whole rapid response network for Texas. They've helped save people's medication, get people medication in Texas. Um, we do so much. I was in a thunderstorm once in Texas when our electric grid went out. And Nana called me and said, Ebony, what you need? Send me the things that I needed. And we also got things to our other PWN members to make sure they stay warm. A sister in South Carolina, we just sent her a generator. So many ways we take care of our sisters other than what people think. Like you said, we have these text threads that were called pods in 2020, because we were in isolation. Everybody would text each other to just check in. Do you need anything? How you doing? Do we need to jump on the phone? As a matter of fact, 2020 is why we started our PWN Care support group, because people needed a way to connect and um emotionally hold each other together. And a lot of us did that for each other. And lastly, I will say leadership. When I came into this, I was a little baby girl who didn't know nothing about nothing and scared to go into a building where they told me that it was an HIV support group. It wasn't no sign, it was just an HIV support group, but I was scared to go into the building. But I seen Miss Wahida El Shabazz run through Chicago. I said, who is that lady? And why is she so happy about living with HIV? She wasn't happy about that, but she was confident in who she was, and I wanted to be confident in who I was. And now I am that. Now I've been that for a lot of other women. So the leadership that PWN has provided for me has got me here. Look where I'm at. I'm now the interim co-ED of PW. Who would have ever thought that? I didn't. So the leadership has gotten me here. The learning policy, learning how to advocate for myself and my community has gotten me so many different places within my community to help my community, to help my own family and friends, because I know how to advocate for myself now. So it has been a beautiful journey. I love this organization. I will always love this organization because this organization has done so much for my personal life, my confidence, and who I am as a woman living with HIV and not ashamed of it. Tana.
Oh, I don't know how I'm gonna come behind that. But, I can say that honestly, I never would have thought I would be in the position that I am. And the only reason that I am in this position that I am, as far as an advocate, activist, and leader, is because of each and every one of PWN members. When I first got into this, Vanita Ray brought me into this, and I was like, what the hell have I gotten myself into? Those were my words. And I will say that it saved my life, but also how has PWN shown up for me? And a lot of people don't know this, but my son's been dealing with prostate cancer and bone cancer, stage 4, for the last couple of years. And PWN has shown me so much love. It's about prayers. It's about holding me up. But also, what I will say is, for me, bringing my grandsons into this work with me, my great granddaughter into this work with me, but also to see my daughters, to see my sisters and my brothers, what you got going on. What we need to do to get people out to vote. I'm all in. Just being there and supporting. But this is what PWN does. We support each other, but we also bring our families into this work with us. Because honestly, 15 years of addiction, my daughters never thought that they would get their mom back. And PWN has given me my life back, but also my confidence as a woman who's been living with HIV this month, 26 years. Uh, yeah. And I'm grassroots. I'm an organizer, and I'm gonna always be that. I'm gonna die doing what I love the most. And this is what PWN has done for me and all of us at PWN, no matter what walks of life we come from. We are here for each other, no matter what. We don't judge, we don't talk, we love on each other.
Wait a minute,
Pass it back to
Tana.
you. Huh?
Wait a minute, Tana. You say we don't judge. I'm about truth. Let's not lie. We be judging.
Well, yeah, we do. But one of
But
the
in
things
love.
that,
In
but one
love.
of the things that we do very well is we don't hold on to it.
We do not.
And let me clarify that, because I will say, if I don't like a person, I don't care for a person, that don't mean I'm not going to help that person, no matter where she comes from. That's what I mean by not judging. Because one of the things that I learned early on is look at the person, not the personalities and not their flaws.
You are
Now,
absolutely right.
pass it back.
You're absolutely right about that. I love that about us, and a lot of people will never know that. That no matter what, and I said it earlier, no matter what, if you're a part of our family, if you're a part of our sisterhood, and you need support, help, whatever, we're going to do it because we're human.
Yeah,
One, and we understand that humans need help.
absolutely.
Secondly, if when you are a woman living with HIV, we also understand how oppressive that is, no matter what, because of stigma and how it holds the system potentially wants to hold us down. So I love that you said that, we 100% will support each other no matter what. But we might judge a little bit and be like, "What?" And we women, we are
Yeah.
people who argue and disagree, but then we come back together in love. I love that about us.
I do too. I do too. It reminds me of when we were on a call recently and we were talking about what we like to eat. And I brought up on a caucus call that I like pickles and I like to put um Kool-Aid in my pickles. And somebody was like, that is gross. You lost me there. The judgment is real. So I want to know from y'all, why does this work need fuel, community, and resources? Y'all said a lot about how PWN shows up for women. One thing that I love that we started when I was the outreach person for the Houston chapter, the Greater Houston area chapter, was we started a backpack drive. And so we gave out like over 100 backpacks the first time. And so every year we make sure to show up for the women living with HIV and Black and brown folks in our community by hosting a Black Pack Drive in the most diverse areas in Houston. And this work needs fuel because movement building, as y'all know, and doing this work is emotional, it is spiritual, and maybe it's also financial. We can't fight for autonomy and safety without resources. We need leaders who have the organizing tools that they need. We need to make sure that our chapters and members at large are supported and cared for. And when people give to PWN, they're not just making a donation, they're investing in women living with HIV that are doing this work. This work is sacred and it deserves to be resourced with the same love and urgency that our communities pour into it each and every day. And so I want to know from y'all, why do y'all think this work needs fuel, community, and resources? One another before I pass it over, recently Tana and I met up with someone who was newly diagnosed. I met him at a recent event and I wanted him to meet Tana because of his struggle with addiction. And I knew that having someone who understood what it means to be a person living with HIV and a person who has substance use history would allow him to have some type of connection and community and joy. And that's what we do for each other each and every day. There's not a week that goes by that I don't think either three of us are on a call with someone either newly diagnosed or trying to navigate some sort of resources. So we are activists, organizers, case managers, housing managers, substance use workers. We are all the things. And we all wear so many hats. So I'm gonna pass it over to you, Tana, to know why do you think this work needs fuel, community, and resources?
You know, we need resources, we need fuel. And I'm going to be as transparent as I possibly can because, Marnina, you brought up a very important thing, that the backpack drive. You use the backpack drive as something giving back to community, but also giving to our own people. And one of the things that I truly can say is that stride to make sure that a mother or a grandmother, no matter where you come from and what the need is, we make sure that we give them everything and they don't have to really buy a thing for school. Uh, and I mean, it's beautiful. And each year that we do it, it gets better and better. But also, one of the things that, we think sometimes that we don't have time to help the next sister or help the next individual. I can truly say for me, and I can only speak for me, I have had to, in 2025, walk so many of young women to get care into maternity care and having doctors tell them that, oh, your appointment is going to be 3 months down the road. No, it's not going to be 3 months. So they will call and say, Mama Tana, and that's what community calls me here, is we need help. We got a pregnant woman that is getting ready to go into trimester 2, and she can't get into the doctor. And they told her it would be a month. And I said, okay, give me 10 minutes. She was in the doctor's office the next day. It is about, this is what fuels me. This is what makes me so mad. And I live in Texas, is that the need of the people, no matter if you're living with HIV or without HIV, it is that I am as an activist, but also as an advocate. But the main thing is being a mother and a grandmother. That is what fuels me to do this work, and not being able to have the things that I needed to stay healthy in 2009 is why I do this today. Why do we need resources? Because if someone calls and say, I'm finna lose my house today or tomorrow, can you help me? I'm going to help that individual. And that is what PWN does on a daily basis. We are there for community. We are there for each other. We need the resources to, number one, in order to change this political climate that we're in, we got to vote. We got to educate our community. So that is coming out of my comfort zone and being that grassroots organizer that I am on a daily basis. I'm going to do it. And we all are doing it. Ebony, Marnina, we all do it on a daily basis. So yes, the fuel, the fire, that's why they call PWN USA fierce, because we are fierce. It doesn't matter what city we need to show up. We will show up if that call to action comes.
Thanks, Tana. That's beautiful. And you are so right. We gonna show up. Um, what I think about is a lot of people don't I have to explain to people these days, like why is there a network for women living with HIV, cis, trans, and gender diverse people? We we have members with all of those identities. We have allies and all of the things. Why? People living with HIV have this stigma placed upon them. And the stigma that's placed upon us prevents us from doing a lot of things. One, I remember, first getting HIV. I'll never forget the feeling. I felt like I would never be loved again. I felt like I would never have the life I wanted. I felt dirty, grimy. I felt all the horrible things. And then I was introduced to a women's support group, a local women's support group in Chicago, um, and then PWN. And when I got in PWN, and those women were doing policy and advocate, it was like, oh my God, they are not only speaking out loud about their status and not being ashamed, they are also taking this to our government and changing things to help us live better lives. Women, PWN leaders have, a lot of people don't know that we went from, I was reading a post today that I shared on World AIDS Day 12 years ago. I went from taking 24 pills a day. Now I take one. Some people take a shot once a month or twice a month. Women had to get into those studies to make that happen. And a lot of those women were women from Positive Women's Network because they come to us when they need something. Women have to go to Congress all the time to speak up about the things we need because other people won't do it. I've sat in so many rooms where they're talking about this major issue, and I have to stand up and say, what about women? I can't believe I still have to do that. But so many PWN members have to do that. We have to be at the table, or we're going to be on the table. Right, on the menu. And then HIV also is situated in order to oppress us and make us live in poverty. Our medicine is, I just told y'all, 30-day supply of medicine. Y'all know this, $3,000. If you don't have insurance, and a lot of our members in the South don't have good insurance, how are you supposed to take medicine that helps save your life? Life-saving medicine. And then you got to eat in order to take the medicine. I was homeless for a while. Couldn't take no medicine while I was homeless and walking the street because the medicine wasn't a priority. But the medicine is what kept me healthy. But I needed housing in order to take the medicine, and I needed food in order to take my medicine. Literally today on my pill bottle, it says, eat a meal before you take this medicine. Like it's a label on my pill bottle. So we literally need food in order to take the medicine. I say all these things to say the reason why we need people to give all of those things that people need that they don't have until this day, December 2nd, 2025, there's still people who don't have food. There's still people who are struggling to get medicine. Like we have underground, I hope nobody see this and get me, but we have these underground medicine pathways to get people medicine that need it. And we have to pay for that shipping because we're a national network. And I'm not even saying the network does it. I'm saying individuals do it. We have to pay to get people to DC sometimes to advocate for the rights of their people in their state. We have to support one another with the things that are needed. Organizing is a full-time job. The most beautiful thing that I think PWN does is it helps to we don't believe in asking anybody to do any work without giving them something for their labor. And that is because people need resources in order to survive. So if you are giving today, and I hope you're giving today, you're giving to support leadership. You're giving to support love. You're giving to support food, housing, the basic needs, because we support people with that all the time. And with donations, we're able to do that. We can't do that with grant funds, but we can do that with donations. So all of the things that we do to love on each other and to love on our members and our people, we need resources for. So we need donations on Giving Tuesday, and I hope we are getting them.
And I'm going to add one thing to this. I am going to make a donation to.
I don't want nobody to see your number, Tanner.
Oh, they couldn't see my number. I'm going to make a donation, and I've been doing this for a couple of years. And the reason why I donate and I give to PWN is because this is what has saved my life. This is what has brought my family to where we are today. This is me making sure I'm doing my part as a woman living with HIV for 25 years to help my sisters or the next person have a meal or be able to help them pay their rent, whatever. But it's an unconditional love when it comes to Giving Tuesday for me. And I love it. So, yes, I will be making that donation.
Thank you so much, Tana. So I see, Marnina, we just raised our first $1,000. Yes, clap it up, clap it up.
Yes.
We are, we have a bigger goal, and it would be amazing if we could raise $2,000 before we get off this live stream. So I hope people who are watching can and are giving. I'm sure we're dropping a link in the chat. We're dropping the link in the Facebook comments. Please share the live, encourage other people to give. Because we do this for our people, for our community, to continue to help, to continue to support. We never want to say no to a need. We don't believe in seeing our sisters be hungry. We don't believe in letting them be out there without any support. Women have been holding this world up for so many years. We deserve support. So please, if you can, give in honor of somebody. Give in honor of the work. Give because I tell people what to do a lot of times because I said so.
That is hilarious. The first time I heard the words voluntold was from you. Like, how she just gonna come here and tell me what to do? Someone's like, I voluntold you. I'm like, girl, what? So yes, that is so true. And I just appreciate you all for being on this live stream. I know it's in the middle of the day. This is the first time PWN has ever had this type of Giving Tuesday campaign. Shout out to our first ever development specialist, Jamil Ware, for setting all of this up, and also our comms team for also working alongside him, and Aisha for making sure that all of these parts of this Giving Tuesday campaign really came together. I'm so grateful that we even got this time to just sit and talk and be in like sisterhood with each other, and laugh and joke and get some smiles in, because we know that our like joy is resistance. As people living with HIV, as women living with HIV, we know that they're trying to take our lives from us and our joy. And so for us to get a little chance to laugh and joke and have fun with each other is just all to me. I want to read a couple of the comments in the chat before we get off because some of them really stuck out to me. I saw Stephanie, who is our board secretary, say that PWN has given me purpose, has given me community and family. I don't know what I would do without this organization. And I definitely hear you on that, Stephanie. Um, Definitely hear you. I see Barb saying, Mama Tana, that's community power and love, a long term member, Barb, and also on staff with us. And then I also saw that Susan says they are badass goddesses. The policy work and policy working is uplifting. The policy work with our sisters is self esteem building. We cannot navigate this world living with HIV alone. Y'all are inspiring, and you are too, Susan. Thank you for being here. So I just wanted to read some of those chats from our members. and hear their voices also on this day. I want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you for your presence.
Wait, Marnina, wait.
Oh, shoot, what happened?
We still got a little time.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yeah, we got two or two East, two Central.
Okay, okay.
I want to give a major shout out to Team PWN, the staff. We have the baddest ass staff out
The
there
best.
that's known. They do all the work. They they take care of our members. They, guide us. They support us in the best way possible. So shout out to the PWN team for all the work they're doing. And then I want to shout out to all our members. The reason why we on here, y'all, is for our members. We don't want our members to give, but they will because they are so they'll give $5 out there out of the little bit that they have because they are so amazing and so supportive. But we don't want them to give. We want people who support us, who are not our members to give, people who have it to give, because we want to support them. We understand that most of our members don't they live at the poverty line or below the poverty line. So we don't want them giving out of their pocket because we want them to keep that for the things that they need. But we want others to give. So if you are on here and you are not a member, or if you know someone who ever said, "How can I support you?" Send them a message and a link. If you know someone who say, "You do such good work," send them a message or a link. Do like I do. I got adult children. Here go the link. Donate to these. I got a family group chat. They be bothering me with random messages all day. Send them the link and tell them to donate. Everybody, most of us got family group chats. I have a friend group chat. Send them the link and tell them to donate because we need support. We need resources. I know people wished sometimes they had a sisterhood like ours because we got the best sisterhood. Shout out to all of our members. We have the best members in the world. We love y'all. And we want to, provide these resources because we know as we go into 2026, unfortunately, life for people living with HIV is going to get a little tougher under this administration than it already is. And despite them trying to erase HIV out of the national limelight, people are still being diagnosed with HIV. Women are still being diagnosed with HIV. Every time I get a call about another woman who has been diagnosed with HIV and is stuck in the fear that stigma have you stuck in, it breaks my heart. And I still get these calls 24 years later. So every day, there's still people being diagnosed with HIV. They still need our support. They still need our help. They still need our resources. Because again, remember when I say to you, there are rural areas in the South, South Carolina, North Carolina, Texas, Florida, all of those southern states, Arkansas, Mississippi, where there are no clinics and there are no hospitals within 30 miles of people's homes. So people have to travel with or without a car to get to a doctor's office, to get to a pharmacy to get medication to save their lives. And this virus is not our fault. There is no reason why we should continue to be dealing with this, except for, unfortunately, our government, which just shut down HIV prevention, a lot of it, which will increase the numbers. So support us. Help us with the resources that we need. Help us get to at least $2,000. I mean, the goal for today is 5. So if any of y'all big ballers out there, or if any of y'all have an abundance of resources, please share because we will take good care of them. We are very responsible with our resources. So donate because you care about humanity. Donate because you care about people. Donate because you love PWN.
Absolutely.
Because you love somebody who's a part of PWN. Donate because wellness is political.
Absolutely. And I will also say that I want to send a shout out to PWN USA Board of Directors uh, because they are amazing group of women overseeing the organization, but also donate because this is a sisterhood. Donate because this political climate ain't finna take us out. Let me just say that. We need all of the donations. If you send it to your loved one, send it to whoever, uh, because these resources helps all of us here at PWN National. And y'all, you can't lose because you won't lose because we are the family here at PWN USA. So please donate to an organization of fierce women that will show up for each and every one of you, no matter what city or state we live in.
One of my biggest flexes is that I can go into any state and I got a sister. It's one of my biggest flexes.
Absolutely.
I love that. And I did never even thought about that. How I just can pick up the phone and go anywhere and be like, I have somewhere to stay. I have a good meal to eat. I can go out with someone. Never thought about that till now. I just do it and didn't even think of the privilege that I have of being a part of this great sisterhood.
Yes.
Um, as we close out, I just want to thank y'all for y'all presence, your energy, and your love. And remember that caring for yourself is also caring for this movement. Your rest, your joy, your healing, they all matter. And so the campaign that we started at PWN for today is because every woman deserves power, and that's what we truly, truly believe. We also started in PWN Legacy Nurturers, and so we have something called Gardens of Power. And so you could either become a monthly donor of $25 a month, $50 a month, or $100 a month, and you'll receive things from us, handwritten cards, art from our members, and different other swags from PWN. So make sure y'all are still checking us up on social media. Rewatch this live stream, share it with someone who needs this reminder, and know that you are always a part of our power wherever you are. And I want to send it over to you, Ebony and Tana, for any last closing words before we get up out of here.
Last closing words for me is donate. But also, even if you can't donate and you're on here, and maybe you're a woman living with HIV, and you've just discovered us through this live stream, sign up. Our website should be in the chat of whatever streaming service you're on. Join us. We love to have you. It costs nothing. You don't even have to say anything.
Mm-mm.
We are advocates. We are public advocates, but you don't have to be. Everybody has a place at PWN. You don't have to be public. You don't have to be out like we are. And you can still be a part of this movement because everybody has a place here. We need help with a number of things that are not public facing. Join us. We have membership calls every month for our members. So, and we do a array of things. Today was about raising money, so we didn't talk about all the things that we do, but we do a number of things, so I'm sure we can find something that you're interested in. We are always about sisterhood, so we want to bring you in. Lastly, if you are not a person living with HIV and you want to support, donate, donate, and donate. That's it for me.
And I will say in closing, donate, donate, donate. But also, I want us as women living with HIV, take a deep breath, breathe, do some self-care, love on yourselves, love on one another. And PWN USA, we love you, we care about you, and you mean the world to us.
I'm
Thank
sorry,
you.
I know I said that was last, but I'm gonna do my little cute little thing. Although we virtual, this is a little thing I do. All right, everybody ready?
Ready.
All right, throw your hands up, wave them like I'm just playing. Now, cross them. Give yourself a hug. We love you.
We
We're
love
sending
you.
love and hugs, and we hope that you can support us today because every, and I mean every woman deserves power. Every woman. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.